Welcome to Modern Management of the Older Adult, brought to you by the Institute of Clinical Excellence.
Hey everybody, this is Ellen Csepe. Welcome to the MMOA podcast brought to you by the Institute of Clinical Excellence. I am going to be your host for this evening, hot off the presses from the MMOA Summit held at the Lexington Stronger Life. If you missed it, you're going to have to come next year. It was amazing. So tonight, guys, our topic is going to be on healthcare and boundaries. Boundaries in healthcare. A lot of us at the ICE faculty have been reading this book called Unreasonable Hospitality. It is an amazing book talking about how we can bring our best as clinicians and healthcare providers. It's prompting us to think of how we can bring our best to the people that we serve and to be unreasonably hospitable and bring our A game for the people that we care for. This book was awesome, but if I'm honest, I feel like I do enough for my patients, and I was apprehensive to read this book, if I'm honest. Now, I don't know if you guys are joining me now, knowing how this might feel, to feel like you do everything that you can for the people that you serve already, and the thought of being unreasonably hospitable to your patients to do things that are extra almost seems daunting, because that's what we do every day. We miss our lunch breaks, we take extra time to treat patients instead of getting our notes done, and we even let the care that we have for our patients infringe on our treatments and make us feel uncomfortable as providers. So I'm going to be really vulnerable. I don't feel like this is talked about enough, but let's be honest, most physical therapists are women. And we care for patients, and we pour our heart and our souls into helping them get better. And at times, our patients can misread our genuine compassion for interest or something more. I'm going to be really vulnerable here and just admit that I've had patients say very uncomfortable things to me. I've had patients at baseline, just the least offensive thing that's happened, ask me to go out to dinner with them, ask to go out for drinks. I've had patients tell me that they're jealous of my husband because he gets to spend time with me. I've actually had one marriage proposal, and in fairness, the patient that proposed to me did have a brain injury, so his balance of the balance of yes or no might have been a little skewed, but we care for our patients as providers, and unfortunately, that genuine compassion can be misinterpreted as potential interest. And that's why boundaries in healthcare are so important. Absolutely, we want to balance this influence of doing the absolute best for our patients and giving them a truly special experience in our care, while also maintaining our own sanity, our own boundaries, our own time, our own relationships. Totally transparent. I've spent time with my patients outside of the clinic. I've hiked 14ers with my patients in the past. I've gone to my patients' houses to get flowers that needed to be thinned out that they gave me for my own garden. I'm willing to do those, and I feel no regret about that time spent with my patients. But I think it's very important as healthcare providers to acknowledge that we need to be able to put up boundaries to protect ourselves. Now, what does that look like? I know I cannot be the only one. I know I can't be the only one who struggles with boundaries in healthcare, not just in time and with management, but in interpersonal relationships with patients. I know I'm not the only one, because we genuinely care, and it's hard to not treat patients like they're very special to us, because they are. And where does that line stop? So if you're a new clinician, I'd rather, instead of keeping this quiet and pretending like it doesn't happen to anybody, I'd rather talk about it so that you, as this new clinician, can benefit from me figuring it out for the past few years. So, new clinician, when you feel this sinking strangeness in your stomach, like, oh, I really don't want to do this, but I feel pressured, you're allowed to say no to something, whether or not that be spending extra time with a patient, giving special attention. If it's something small and you just don't feel comfortable, you're allowed to say no as a clinician. And practicing healthy boundaries not only protects the other people in your life. For example, for me, I've had to, I'm newly married. I had to balance out. I had a patient who invited me over to their home to learn to sew, something that would be really special and wonderful for me to learn how to do. And I see a lot of my patients as, grandparents, and I'd love to do that, to learn from them. But truthfully, that took away from time that I had with my husband, and I already don't have enough time with him. So why? I have to really be realistic as to how much time I have to give away to my patients and to people that I care for, and how much of that I want for not only myself, but other relationships that I have. So new clinician, if you feel that sinking sensation of, oh my gosh, I can't do more, with a glad heart, I think it's really important that you establish some boundaries. And while we're on the topic, there's a really excellent book called Boundaries by William Cloud. I really highly recommend you read it. And it talks a lot about how to establish boundaries with other people, and even yourself, and coworkers, parents, children, and all of those relationships, how to set boundaries so that you can take care of what you need genuinely, and be able to give your best for the people that are in your life, and not feel like you're giving more than you're able to. I think that's the take-home message that I want you guys to know, is that setting firm boundaries lets you be unreasonably hospitable to the people that you care for, while not ruining your capacity to have a work-life balance and care for yourself. So I'm very hopeful that you guys can learn from some of the uncomfortable situations that I've been in, and learn how to say, no. No, I don't have time to do that. So new clinician, if you're still with me, let's practice a little bit. So I want you to repeat after me. No, I typically don't participate in things outside of work with my patients. I really appreciate you offering to spend time with me outside of the clinic, but that's not something that I do. My social life is as full as I want it to be right now. Thank you, but no thank you. I want you guys to be able to look out into your caseload and be able to set firm boundaries so that you don't feel burnt out by your career and burnt out by your ability to serve the patients that you care about most. So I wish you luck, and I hope that this was in some way helpful for you to know that you're allowed to do your best work and still be able to say no politely to the people that you care for, to protect your sanity and have boundaries. If you'd like to reference that book, I'll put the link in the comments on the Instagram post that I've got. But thank you all very much for joining me, and please learn to say no.
Thank you for listening to the MMOA podcast. If you found this helpful, please share with someone that could benefit. And if you're looking for more practical content to help you better serve older adults, head over to www.mmoa.online, where you can learn more about our free resources, our community, continuing education courses, and our certification. Once again, that's www.mmoa.online. Thanks for listening.